Hello and welcome to BusyWorksBeats.com. I need you guys to smash that like button. Today I'm going to show you how to use Apple Creator Studio, and we're going to make a beat in Logic. So for example, a lot of people are having issues finding out how to actually sign up. So I'm going to leave a link below. But when you scroll down, you'll see this like top bar that says try it for free. So let me show you guys what it looks like. So you click here, it should open up this page that says to view in the App Store. And then when you click here, it should open up the App Store for your machine. And then I've already purchased it, but you guys should see something that says like get or install or something like that. And I didn't even install Mac OS 26 to use all the apps. I only installed Mac, was it 15 or so? So if you go to your Apple in the top left, go to System Settings and go to where it says General, go to Software Update. This is technically the latest update, but one thing about audio, you normally don't want to go to the newest thing right away until you verify that all the audio companies have, fixed their plugins to work with it. So that's why I didn't jump to this one. Now you should, if you scroll down, you should see another area that gives you like a drop down, like a little ... or ellipses, something like that. And then you should be able to see where it says you can install 15 point, whatever. Okay. So that's how you don't necessarily need 26 to run Logic Pro. All right, just letting you guys know, because there's a message you will get. I think it's Pixelmator requires the new version of it, of Mac OS. Okay, so long story short, I'll leave this link below to the actual app store, I guess, and that way you guys can find this a little bit easier. So now that you have all that being done, you simply just download the stuff like you normally would, and it's very simple. If you've already used Logic Pro, it loads in your templates for you. You don't even have to like set everything back up. So we're also going to check out Final Cut Pro. I may get into this, I may not. It just depends how the video flows. But here we have beat detection. This is good for when we're making beats and we need our visuals to match the actual timing of the beat. And then we have transcript search, which is going to be helpful for people like myself who teach, 2-hour blocks sometimes. And I need to find the exact time where I said a certain thing or did a certain topic. You could even do visual searches, but for, on-screen stuff, I'm not sure it's trained on the stuff that we do just yet. I don't know, maybe it is. So now let's get into the process. So my theory here, I want to do something crazy. I want to actually combine Suno. So let's go to busyworksbeats.com/Suno. That will let them know that you actually came from BusyWorks Beats. So here's busyworksbeats.com/Suno. We'll take you over here. And we're going to go to, actually, let's record an idea and then let's drag it into Suno and then drag it back into Logic. And then we're going to basically use the new Logic features to see if we can create something dope. All right, so let's create a simple idea. So let's come up with like a 1970s something like that. All right, so I know that's random, but now what we're going to do is export this. Let's export. We could either bounce or just export all tracks as audio, depending on how many recordings you have. So let's do one track as audio file. We're going to save this to our desktop and hide options so we can see everything. And let me show options again so we can change the name. So let's name this Suno Recording. All right, and then hit export. Now that we have that as a file, let's go back into Chrome and we're going to feed that audio into Suno as an actual input. So let's go to our desktop. Let's find the recording, drag this in. This is my own audio. So it's just asking, is this our audio? We're going to save it to the library and I'm going to wait for it to load first before I hit continue. I'm not sure if that matters or not, but let's just wait a bit. All right, so they've been, now Suno, if you guys have lyrics in your music, for some reason it's very overreaching sometimes and with the copyright restrictions. So if you guys have lyrics in your songs, just understand you may run into headaches with that. Let's left click and drag this in as an audio input. So now we have, now we're gonna take away the lyrics here because we want this to be an instrumental. So let's go to 1970s Black Soul as the style. And we're gonna just let it basically create a cover of that idea. So let's just click create. Now I'm not sure what inspo is. I don't know what inspo actually does. I guess inspo takes the ingredients from multiple tracks and then creates stuff. Sample is a new thing. I think this creates, what is sample? Is this new? they're just like dropping stuff, and I don't even know what this is. This might even be a sample maker. Hold on, this might be a new feature unlocked today. I didn't even know that. Let's go to Suno Studio real quick because I want to see if sounds and sample are different. Okay, so let's X out of there real quick. So under sounds, okay, so sounds is a whole separate thing now. So what the heck is sample? This must be something brand new. I swear I find something out about Suno every single day. All right, let's drag this in. Let's see what sample is. Let's just mess with it. Sample beta. I was waiting for some text overlay. Let's get rid of the text. I have no idea what this does, but hey, we're going to find out today. 1970s Black Soul. Boom. All right, so let's go here. Okay, let's do the other one. I like this one. It's a little more vibey. Now the thing is, if you feed it your own audio and you're out of key, it's just going to create out of key stuff. All right, so let's see what. I wonder what sample means. What does that mean? This feels very 50 Cent. Let's download this one. All right, so it's still processing. So when it's done, I'm going to download this. A little side note, I'm noticing the samples are a lot longer. This one's 4 minutes long. Holy crap. The other one's 2:52. I think they're doing something behind the scenes where they're giving us longer generations. And again, I have no idea what the sample mode does. It doesn't really say. I even went into the news section and couldn't find it. So maybe they renamed it sample instead of sounds. I'm not sure. But regardless, it created a pretty dope. So we're going to load this in Logic and flip it in the sampler. And then we're going to basically have Logic create the bass line for synth. Well, I guess they didn't have synths back then. So yeah, I like the other one. They're both vibey. All right, so let's go to Logic Pro. Yeah, Suno definitely did something different there. All right, let's grab the first sample and drag it into Logic. And I meant to drag it in. Sorry, let's do this again. Drag it in, and we're going to drag it in as a quick sampler. So if you hover over this like track area, you could select the type of thing you want to load up. So in this case, let's do quick sampler, because in here, we're going to turn on flex mode and we are going to chop it up into pieces. So let's pull back the sensitivity. And now we can create that like dun, dun, dun. All right, another thing I'm going to do is go to gate and then play to the end. That way I can truncate the sample. If I can find. That was like 50 cents. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, let's do the you make me smile. Dun, dun, dun. Let's see what BPM that was. Let's kind of use my ear here. Wait, y'all, hold on. I gotta create a track. Dun, dun, dun. Definitely wasn't 77. Dun, 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 dun. Somewhere around 88 BPM, I would assume, is that 50 Cent record that I'm referring to. So let's do that. All right, let's record that. That's pretty fire. My dumb self. Okay, sorry, y'all. Okay, let's right click, mute that thing. Let's do this again. Run that back. I think we got a hit. So we only need one loop, and then we'll maybe make changes to it. Let's run that back. Also, let's quantize this because, yeah, Control A, let's quantize that thing. Now, some of these notes are a little short. Let's speed it up just a little bit. Let's loop this for 8 bars. Let me save this project. All right, now we got it saved. And now let's see what Logic Pro does. So let's create, let's right click and then go to new session player SI. So we could do keyboard player. Let's actually do keyboard. I'm curious to see what piano stuff they would add over this. Let's go to create. And I guess it just figures out what's in your song. Or do we have to find the key? I think we have to find the key. So I don't even know the key. So here's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to open up a plugin called Scalar. Figure out the key of this sample. So that piano doesn't know what key to be in, I think. Probably just doing this wrong. All right, so it just turns out it is in C major. It just starts at E, so it gives like an E Phrygian vibe. So we can't put E Phrygian as our key, so we're gonna do, let's just do A minor, maybe it'll sound more natural. That piano sounds a little, let's switch the style. Let's do, I don't know, let's just click around. I think we have to set the chords up top. Let's click this little drop down thing. Let's go to chord and let's see if we can, I thought we didn't have to edit this. I don't know. So I think the first note, let's type in E because the root note is definitely E when it starts off. And okay, so it figured out the scale is Phrygian. So let's switch the scale to just regular. Is there regular Phrygian? I guess, is that the proper name? Phrygian dominant? They lied to us this whole time. I thought it was just Phrygian. Okay. Bass note E. Oh, maybe because I put major, that's why. I don't want to chord though. This is a little more work than I expected to be doing, but this is where music theory comes into play. Again, I'm probably doing this wrong, so don't take this tutorials like gospel. Or not, it's not even really a tutorial. I like this. Let's just switch that first chord. So it's actually D. What am I doing? Okay, let's do, okay, so the first chord apparently is not E, it's D. Actually, let's switch to A. I know we're all over the place, but my ear, we're listening to the top notes like that. I wonder if we can do like altered chords in here. Can we do a dominant chord? It's a sharp. Okay. Let's do, what would that be? Let me think. This is an interesting way to go about production too, because now we're just using the feeling and less about the knowledge. Now, E minor sounds cool, but I kind of like that augmented vibe. Let's see what suspended sounds like. Let's just keep it E minor and A minor. I think this piano is just doing too much. So now we can mess with the actual performance and not the music theory of it all. I think somebody said you could drag the audio up there and it figures it out. I still have yet to figure out every single new feature in Logic Pro, but apparently you can drag audio up there and it just figures it out for you. Let me try that. Let's convert this into audio. And let's see if this, if you click this little drop down thing, let's see if we could drag and drop. I don't know if this is going to work, so don't quote me, y'all. Let's drag and drop. Okay, drop here to analyze region chords. Okay. All right, so this is the AI stuff going on behind the scenes. So hopefully this figures it out for us so that we don't have to overly think. So it's kind of cool. I don't know why it starts a bar back. I'm not sure why it does that. Let's just switch different styles of piano. Maybe the piano is just too much to add. Let's try a bass player. And let's do, where's the bass? Now, Bolo showed me this earlier. So if you right click and convert to a MIDI region, we could take this performance and we could turn it into MIDI. So now I can add my own notes. So I want to add the note E. Okay, so let's just do the note D. Now I'm fine with this looping. So for me as a hip hop producer, I get more use out of the bass session player than the keyboard session player, because keyboard is something that I would normally do. So I'm just showing you guys like stuff that I would actually do. But there are new session players. There's also a synth player. So let's see what that would even sound like. Now, do I hear a synth in my head on this? No. But let's just try swapping this out. Let's do type and let's do, where is the synth? Maybe I didn't do this right. Oh, synth, here we go. Simple pad. Let's do modulate it. So it just adds a little rhythm behind the track, very subtle. So nice for a little change up. And the cool thing is it locks in with that bass, so it's not like super doing its own rhythm. It's like actually locked in with the bass. That's useful. Now on this track, do we need that synth? Not necessarily. Let's add some drums in here. All right, now let's get our drum game in here. Let's go to our new library here. So basically they're coming for splice. They said splice who? So in the browser, if you click this little loop area, you go to sound packs. We're going to go to, there's different ones. So like it might be too much to go through everything, but count is just the count. So we could do the count drums. We could do take a day trip. I think this track needs like boom bappy stuff. So the count is probably more appropriate for this genre. Let's go to instrument. Let's go to drums. Let's see if we can get some drums that match. Normally I just go off the snare. Now I like these drums. I'm not sure we could play the one shots of it. So let's left click and drag into a sampler, because it will auto chop for us. Now this drum loop seems like it needs a lot of the information. So you might want to do less chops. That way it kind of flows into the next. Something like this. Now this is a little too aggressive probably for this track. All right, so the next step we need to do is put this on flex mode so that it follows the BPM. All right, so let's record this in. So I just did random chops at the end there. Let's double click. Let's just quantize these. There's no need to be super off the grid. So now we have that, like, feels like a DJ did the drums. And that's something that you normally just can't do easily, especially in FL. Let's go to the sample of the guitar and let's just give this an amp envelope. And I just want a very short decay curvature. So I want to do like think, think, think like that. Let's add a high pass filter. Chop out the lows. So now I'm just trying to shape the tone here. Some movement here with the sample delay. So we need to cut out more of the bass here. There we go. I'm gonna add a little more delay, a little tape delay, like a very small amount. Change the timing. So now it goes dun, 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 like that. Now we got a unique vibe. So let me show you guys, how I would really take this to the next level here. There's a service called Access Analog, and it's really, 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 really good for beats like this. So I'm going to load up my mic in FL real quick. So here we can load up analog gear remotely. So my new favorite thing is the Magic Garden. This thing is insane. So instead of the normal stuff that I usually show you guys on the Access Analog rack, let's use the Magic Garden. And this stuff is crazy. Whoever invented this chain deserves an award. All right, so let's load this up. So basically we have to wait for this to configure. So that might take a little bit of time. And let me see here. Also, let's go to source. All right, okay, there's a pop-up somewhere we can't see. So I'm going to take the time here. Normally I export the song, but I forgot to load up a source. So basically you have to go to where it says source, go to audio, source, DAW. We're going to upload the audio, and basically it's going to record the audio from our DAW into this server, and then we can process the sound that way. So this is going to take a little bit to play through, so I'm just going to pause the video. Okay, so now the audio is on their server. We can now go to the equipment and start using this stuff. So my favorite thing is this Crane Song Limited HEDD. This thing is insane, y'all. But let me go in order here. Now this is not a tutorial. I'm just showing you guys what I would do to add that final touch. Now I like this limiter to overly compress sometimes. It has a nice sound to it. So I'm pushing heavily into it. So I really love the sound of this compressor. It's super sturdy sounding. And let's just boost the highs a little bit. Boost the lows a little bit. All right, then we have the Alicia compressor. Sometimes I like the sound, sometimes I don't. Let's pull it back a little bit. It's like this very subtly. They have a transformer on here and a soft clipper, but I don't think we need all that. Let's actually use the 60 hertz on this other EQ here. So I'm still learning all this gear. I don't know what this is. You know, I've never seen this in real life, so this stuff is pretty dope to mess with. We're just boosting 60 hertz here. That usually adds the weight to the track. And it's a tube EQ, so we're getting a little bit more harmonic stuff out of that. Now this one, I don't even know if we can adjust the settings. I think it's just a picture, so we can't mess with that. Waves L2, same deal. I don't think we can actually mess with the settings here, at least not from what I understand. And then the crane. So this thing is a monster. So the triode adds like that Ripley sound. Pentode adds a saturated sound you guys are used to. And tape adds a nice sound. So let's just crank each one up. So tape actually adds a lot of depth to this track. Now we can hear that aggression on the tape. Let's try pentode. So to me, more of a to my ears, that is more of a metallic type of distortion. Next, we have the triode. This is going to be that Ripley sound here. Where it feels like it's just ripping the track apart. So I like each characteristic. Personally, triode and tape are my favorite sounds here. So let's do it before and after. Here's before. Here's after. It just has more balls to it, you know, afterwards. So let's bounce this. All right, so let's run this audio back. Just like that, we have an album ready style beat for 50 Cent, G-Unit type era, 2000s type beat, just like that. So that's how I want you guys to experiment with all this stuff. Notice it's like a combination of everything that really drive new creativity. So thank you guys for watching. It's Game from busyworksbeats.com. Peace out, guys.